Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Tips on driving safely in Mexico.
Well, we sit down at the breakfast. I tell Jerry, I don't want to work today, so I want to go someplace else. Where are we going to go?
So we decided to take a road trip today and get out. Just a beautiful day. And we'll be able to show you some of the things as we're driving here. And so let us talk today a little bit as we drive, things that are on our mind. Right now, what I'm doing, I'm running this short series here where I'm showing you sort of a daily day activities that we do. And I'm running them 3 days a week. I will get back to my regular scheduling of one video every Friday at 7 p.m. after this series is over, and just giving you a glimpse of what it looks like here in Mexico on a day-to-day basis, and a little bit of the surroundings around me when I'm making videos. And so temporary situation where I'm providing a video 3 days a week, and eventually I'll get back to the 1 day a week. Well, let's talk about driving in Mexico.
Two, crossing the border into Mexico.
If you're coming across the border and you're coming into the deeper part of Mexico, what I recommend is that you go across the border real early in the morning. In fact, find out when the immigration office opens. Let's say the immigration office opens at 8 o'clock in the morning and you have to get your paperwork taken care of. You want to get there right when the immigration office opens up. One, you're not going to have a lot of people ahead of you. Also, what we like to do is we like to be maybe 50 miles, 100 miles on the into Mexico, away from the border, real early in the morning. And we sort of figure maybe the bad guys are still sleeping. Because on the border side of Mexico, around the border towns, that's where the problems are. You'll get into, that's where you see things where more shootings are and more corruption are. So we don't hang around those places. We get past them as soon as possible, huh, Lori?
Yeah.
For safety.
Uh-huh.
So that's a tip there. Also,
Don't make the big mistake of driving in Mexico at night.
another challenge of driving in Mexico is you don't want to drive at night. And what's the reason for that is a lot of times there's livestock that you're driving through farming communities and stuff, and there will be people who maybe the goats are running, broke out of their pen, or cows and stuff like this. So you don't want to hit them. The roads are not well lit. Even on the main highways, they don't have street lights, as you're driving. So it's very dangerous to have drive at night, because you can hit livestock, you can hit people. So what I do, if I have to drive real early in the morning and it is dark, I get behind a big semi truck or a bus, and I let them be my bumper. Now, you're going to go slower, than if you just, could pass them. But I figure I don't want to hit a cow and smash the car in or kill us or anything like that. So I get behind a bus. Try not to leave that early in the morning, but sometimes, you want to get on the road early.
4, be careful of the speed bumps in Mexico. You can rip out the bottom of your car.
Okay. Well, definitely it is a challenge. And one of the things that you notice when you're driving here is you're driving smooth along, and then all at once they have these, what are they called, Lori?
Topaz.
Topaz. What a topa is, it's a speed bump. It's a bump in the road where they want you to slow down, which is fine. They'll have it around bus stops, or they'll have it in intersections. That's okay if they were marked. Right, Lori?
Yeah, sometimes they don't mark at all.
So you can be driving on a road like this, you know, and you're just cruising along, and all at once, and they're very small, and they're the wicked ones. And so all at once, you don't even see them, and bang, bang, bang,
There you go.
bang. I'm hitting some right now. Bang, bang. and we're out in the middle of nowhere, and here they are.
Well, towpath is a small towpath, but it's very sharp. If you drive so fast, and it will like hurt your thigh, so you have to go slow. And then we just drive smoothly, and then it come the towpath, we couldn't break it right away and go boom, 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 boom. Oh my God!
5 best cars to drive in Mexico.
One of the things, if you're ever going to come down to Mexico or buy a car in Mexico, you want to have a car that's up off of the ground a bit. Now, some of the cars that are popular here are the CRV, that's what we have.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you have your RAV4, the Toyota. You have your Subaru Outbacks, and Kias have a model. They have different manufacturers have models that are about on that same level. They're not too big, but not too small, because if you get too large of a car, then there's a lot of narrow streets, and then that can be a problem driving with the narrow streets.
6, understand the gas stations. Don't get ripped off at the pump.
When you pull into a gas station, okay, there's going to be a gas attendant that's going to come out, and they'll want to know how much gas you want in there.
Mm-hmm.
So what I usually do is, let's say I show them 1,000 to 500 pesos.
Mm-hmm.
So 1,000 pesos. I show it to them and say that's what I want, and then I get the green one, the verde. That's a regular, and but I don't give them the money now. I
Yeah.
wait until they fill it up.
Yeah.
Then hand him the money.
Uh-huh.
I made a mistake one time where I handed the guy the money, and then he fills it up, but he washes the windows and everything else. Well, then he had forgotten that I had given him the money, and he says, that'll be 1,000 pesos. And I says, no, I gave it to you already. And he was saying, no, you didn't give it to me. And I says, no, I gave it to you. And so we had to, have a little bit of words on that. Nothing bad or anything. But until then, finally, he checked around. Oh, there was the 1,000 pesos. So what I've learned is not to give them the money till after it's been pumped in, because maybe it's not going to take a whole 1,000. So maybe it's going to be only 800. Also, talking about that, say when you're in the gas station, you're getting your windshield washed, your windshield shield washed, or you're getting your oil checked, or getting tire pressure put in your tires. They'll do all that for you, but you give them a tip. Usually I'll give them 10 pesos for a tip.
50 cents.
Even if you don't have them wash your window or check anything, I still give them a 10 peso tip for pumping in the gas. Okay, so I've got 1,000 pesos here. I'm going to show it to them how much I want to put in there. Now let me tell them what gas I'm going to use. Now this is important. He's got 1,000 pesos up there, but that's not my 1,000 pesos. He's got to bring that back to 0. This is something you will want to watch, because sometimes they do this and they don't put as much gas as you want, and you're paying for it. Let's come in here. Okay, I don't tell him how many gallons I want. That's what he was asking, how many gallons I want. I wouldn't tell him that because I don't know, because it may take less, and I'm almost sure it's going to take less than 1,000. Now I'm going to ask him to wash my window.
Sí.
Can you wash my window?
Sí.
Okay, gracias.
Sí.
Okay, well, what I want to show you now, see, it didn't take 1,000. It only took 300. So I'm going to give him 500. I don't want to put any more gas than that in it, because I don't want it to, be popping out or smelling in the car. So I like to be out here when it's all going on, so then I can regulate it, make sure he doesn't pump gas on the car and stuff like that. So
So 300 pesos is what we got. So now he's giving me 200 and change. So I'm going to give him 10 pesos for washing the window. But I'm going to ask him to fill up the air too. Senor, can we do the air? So I've asked him to put in 32 pounds of pressure.
The bathroom is very clean. Not even a trash in there. It's so clean. Muy limpia. Okay.
Number 7, clean convenience stores. Okay, let's go into the convenience store here and see what it looks like. Let's check out the Mexican Turnpikes. Very convenient. Highly recommend them. I want to show you the Mexican Turnpike. It's actually called a quota, and the highways are great. Now what we're doing is we're entering a toll booth, and so I need to pay the money to use the toll roads here, and we're really excited to show you this part of Mexico road system.
Pull up here. I'll look for the lane that I want to go in. Okay, looks like everything is open. And then up here, I'm going to show you there's going to be a sign on the left-hand side that's going to tell us how much we have to pay. Okay. Okay, so what do we have here? So we're going to have to pay 95 pesos. See the second one down? 95 pesos. Okay, pulling up to the toll booth here. Hola.
Hola,
Buenos días.
Ah, yo tarde. Buen viaje.
Adios, gracias. Okay, all paid? All paid? Okay, the other thing here, let me show you this. I got a receipt, okay? This is something you want to keep because when you're driving on these toll roads, you actually are insured for the time you're on here. Of course, you want to have Mexican insurance anyways, but if somebody was in an accident on here, they would you'd be taken care of because you have this receipt. So keep these receipts while you're using the toll roads here in Mexico. Advertisement time here. And so I want to tell you, and maybe you know, maybe you don't, but I have a program where you actually can set up an appointment with me and we can have a private phone consultation. And normally it is $87 to talk for 50 minutes. I have a special going on, limited time for $38. And I'm helping people.
9, accidents in your car. Be careful.
Now this is really important also. If you're in an accident in your car in Mexico, and remember, of course, you have to have travel insurance, automobile insurance, and it's a good idea to have travel insurance also for your medical needs. But talking about automobile insurance, your policy will have a contact person in there. So you may have an 800 number if you're driving in from the States or Canada. And so you're in an accident, you want to then call that number on there. You do not want to move the vehicles. I don't care if it's in the middle of an intersection and the traffic is back there, backing up. Don't move your car until the police get there. Because if you do move your car, then you will lose the case because they have to make out a report. And if you've moved your car, they won't take witnesses' word for it, and they won't take anybody's word for it. So definitely be careful about that. And then your insurance agent will will send somebody out there to represent you and sort of give you the what to do and what not to do when the police are there. Then after the police have made the report, then you can move your car, and they'll let you know what to do.
10. Don't go to jail.
And also, I mentioned this in other videos, if you do get in an accident, say a severe accident, and there happens to be some type of a blood, you banged your head on the windshield or the steering wheel, whatever it is, and the larger, the more severe the accident is, there's a good chance that they may even take you into the police department. Well, this is why it's very important to have your car insurance agent represent you if there's blood, because they can take you into the police department and try to figure it all out, and that can really detain you too. And so that, if in a bad worst case scenario, let's say you get in an accident and it's a local Mexican, he takes off there and runs away. Again, don't move your car, and have your agent negotiate for you if there's blood, and also have the agent negotiate for you, because it gets quite complicated here. So drive safe is the bottom line.
11. Use your Google Maps driving in Mexico.
Now, what we do is we use our Google Maps, and Lori's a navigator, so she puts on Google Maps and then gives me directions on what we're going to do ahead. We used to have a Garmin, and that worked out pretty good before Google Maps came in. And so, especially driving in Mexico, because there's a lot of different little turns and twists and stuff, so I highly recommend using something like Google Maps, especially when you're going in a city, a major city. Maybe you're going to look for a hotel to stay at and you're on the road. We always use them, and we find it very helpful.
You have to be careful. You have to know your town, where you're going to go. If you just put, the central of the town, then they're going to bring you to the central, nothing there. You have to know that too. So I confuse myself a lot of time when I punch a letter in. So I have to remember put the central historical, of that town. Then they lead you. Actually, I used to Google Map. It's very, very, very helping me a lot.
But we rely on that Google Maps app that we have here. What do you say? All the time, huh, Lori?
Yeah, most of the time, like 99%, I use Google Map.
Yeah, so Lori's a good co-pilot. She guides me along, and we navigate through Mexico, a lot of places, and so don't be afraid to explore and see different parts of Mexico. That's for sure. Even if you're in a rental car, and you got your phone, and check it out on Google Maps.
If you'd like, you could support us on Patreon. Friday nights, 5 p.m. California time, a new video. Also, you see my picture at the bottom right. Touch on it and you will be subscribed to our YouTube channel. And if you'd like to book an appointment, on the left, book now, touch on it, and you can register to book an appointment with me.